Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's Grandstand, we have two major updates from the Alabama birthday party massacre that happened here about roughly 14 hours ago, give or take. The first being that there is a video circulating on Twitter, which I will not be showing on this channel just because of YouTube guidelines and stuff like that. But essentially, what it is two young dudes. You know who I'm talking about, by the way. I'm not going to mention race in this one. Two young guys holding guns, pointing them at the camera, etc., etc. We have no idea if they're victims or if they're the ones that were shooting last night. Could have been both, for that matter, because they might have been, Again, the fact that we're looking at this potential from the fact that it was most likely, just based on the article we read in the previous Grandstand, a issue where you probably had a gang of people go up there, a little group, whatever the case be, could be described as a gang, going to a birthday party that they were not invited to, and then trying to start some shit is what it was when they were being kicked out by the people that were actually at the party is what it is. And that's most likely what sparked the whole thing off is what it was. Those two gentlemen, who may or may not be arrested at some point in the future, in that video I'm talking about there on Twitter, like I said, pointing guns at the camera, acting a fool, basically is what it is. And it sucks being right about that kind of stuff, dude, honestly, when you have that going on. And there's actually two different videos out there now, because there's that video and there's another video that may or may not be one of those guys randomly shooting into a crowd of people is what it is. So, who knows, man? Maybe it was those guys, maybe it wasn't those guys. So that's number one on the whole thing. Second major update is that it's now, they have updated the numbers and stuff like that. It's now, instead of 6 being dead, it's 4 dead, which, like I said, the early reports were that there were 6 white sheets over people is what it was. So probably miscounting is my guess of people that were like eyewitnesses and stuff like that, because that's the problem with eyewitness testimony most of the time, is that it is infallible and stuff. So yeah, the latest update right now from specifically here in Gateway Pundit article that I was reading a little bit ago here is mass shooting at Sweet 16 birthday party in Dadeville, Alabama leaves at least 4 dead, 20 more injured. And it says, early this morning, Gateway Pundit reported a mass shooting in Dadeville, Alabama. At a reported Sweet 16 birthday party. Party was being held at a downtown dance studio, and I think that is where that one, if that is where I think it is, that's exactly where that one video came out of, where the guy was shooting at people and stuff like that. So it very likely is the same guy that was one of the 2 guys that was in that video I was talking about earlier. So anyway, it was at the dance studio called Mahogany Masterpiece, which opened last October, so less than a year. Said officials have not reported if the shooter or shooters have been caught or dead. Said on Twitter early Sunday morning, the Alexander City Outlook posted the crime scene at that area in front of the PNC Bank and that dance studio. Police from Dadeville, as well as the county sheriff, etc., were all on scene. And this is a Fox News report, Alabama. Law enforcement agencies, State Bureau of Investigation released a tragic update this morning, which confirmed 4 deaths and multiple injured. This is Daily Mail reports that there were at least 20 more injured. This is following agencies responded to the scene and are actively assisting in the investigation. Dadeville Police Department, as well as that local county sheriff, etc., ATF, etc., on there, FBI as well, and 5 circuit district attorney's offices. That's an interesting one, actually, dude. So you got 5 different district attorney's offices, which kind of makes me wonder, honestly, if they don't know who these guys are legitimately, and it was potentially multi-time felons already. And that's the thing, dude. When you start looking at these young punks nowadays, dude, these little pieces of shit is what it is, that are, 15, 16, 18, 19, whatever it is, under the age of 21, not being able to legally purchase handguns is what it is in this country. Every single one of these assholes tends to have a rap sheet by the time they're like 15 or 16. And when I say a rap sheet, I mean like a violent history is what it is, dude. Where they've been doing shit since they were like 12, 13, whatever. And whether it be a previous murder charge, whether it be, violent gang beatings, etc., there. It's just ridiculous, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think honestly, and this is the sad part of it all, in my lifetime, we have had this escalation of violence by these youths anymore, dude. And I don't know what the fuck the problem is anymore with it. Like, it's just, it's like kids have lost their goddamn minds or something, man. Like, I don't know if it's the shit in the water supply, all these, like, psych drugs and everything like that, or what the hell it is. But it's just like the brutality and the frequency and the repeat offender issues and stuff like that. It's like, bro, come on, seriously. And I feel like some of that is honestly, legitimately, a failure of our system right now. Because, as I've said before, as previously running for office in this state right now, platforms I was running on when I was running would legitimately fix that stuff because we'd be catching at least some of these people before they're able to go down that pathway of, mass murder and shit like that, and be able to get them early and maybe actually get the recidivism rate down, get the actual, issues at hand dealt with, and be able to actually have productive members of society again. But this is the problem. When you don't have anything in place right now where you have a fucked up judicial system that just wants to, basically turn out the fucking profits and do privatize prisons and stuff like that and everything else like that, where it's just a bunch of giant corporation fuckery all the time, every which way you look at it, man, from corrupt ass politicians to corrupt ass fucking corporations, etc., that control the system, nothing's ever going to change because it would mean taking the money out of their pockets and probably putting them in fucking prison at that point then. So, yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous what it is, man. But anyway, going back to the rest of that article here on Gateway Pundit, though, it said, let's see, it said, well, 4 deaths have been confirmed. The total may rise from there. So, yeah, it probably could be like 6 at some point. It says local residents previously claimed that between 6 and 12 people had been killed. So this is the current view of the hospital, and they got photos there for Twitter and stuff. I'm not going to show them, obviously, just because. But yeah, if you want to go to Gateway Pundit, it's up there on the update to mass shootings, what it is. And then so somebody said, seems like they're using Snapchat and Facebook more to talk about it. Comments I've seen like these, and then somebody posted a comment there. So the Gateway Pundit further reported that there was a photo posted online purportedly to be victims killed in the shooting. The photo appears to show at least 6 lifeless males and females close together on the floor of what appears to be the dance studio. One woman posted a video saying that Dadeville Hospital could not handle all the injuries resulting from the shooting. So many were taken to Alexander Hospital, which was packed with families. And it said, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey released a statement on Twitter this morning expressing her condolences to the people of Dadeville and all the Alabamians. Kay said, this morning, I grieve with the people of Dadeville and my fellow Alabamians. Violent crime has no place in our state, and we are staying closely updated by law enforcement as details emerge. So, my biggest problem with all this stuff is I'm trying to use my words not to get a channel strike is what it is right now, dude. But honestly, the real truth, I'm just gonna say it like this, dude, son man. Let's just use AK's fucking terminology. America has a son man problem, legitimately. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. If you've ever watched AK Nation News, etc. The issue is you do not have these motherfucking politicians who tend to look very much like I do actually calling the shit out. Because if they did, they would be called racist or whatever the fucking case be. It'd be an is this or an is that or whatever. And that's the biggest problem right now. Because if you don't call it out for what it fucking is, dude, you can't address the problem from the fucking root cause of it, is what it is. And this is the biggest issue with our country currently, is that you have these kind of fucking things going on all the time, and you have all this shit happening, and nobody seems to be wanting to address it, is what it is. It's just a bunch of shit, man. And it's just ridiculous, is what it ends up being. I'm also going to put a statement out, too, by the way. I actually posted something on Twitter last night. So you guys know about a year ago, roughly give or take, I was basically ostracized by some individuals in the 2A YouTube community here, specifically Guns and Barbecue, etc. I am giving those guys until May 31st to apologize to me for the shit that they pulled against me last year. And if they don't, come June 1st, I'm going to sue every single one of them because I'm sick and tired of it. It's been almost a year, and the fact that I've been slandered and defamed multiple times over this bullshit, the fact that I have been put into a situation where I came very close to taking my own life last year over this whole thing because of the shit they did against me. And if it's going to go like that, it's going to need to be fucking financial at this point. If it could be criminal charges, I'd put criminal charges against these fuckers. So, anyway, unfortunately, Ohio doesn't have doxing stuff on our books right now, but we might if I work with some lawmakers pretty soon here. But yeah, so basically it's May 31st or get sued June 1st is what it is. So, and I mean that as a full apology. And I don't care where it's on. If it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, doesn't matter. Honestly, I simply want an apology. I simply want an Adam, we're sorry for what we did to you. You were right in what you said. Literally, the statement you made was correct, is what it is. And that's the fact of the matter, dude. You know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, dude. I make no qualms about what I said last year. The only thing I said that I misspoke about was the whole diversity and inclusion thing in this country. But other than that, that statement stands true, man. Our country was founded by our founding fathers as a white Christian nation, specifically. Then became a melting pot later on, is what it is. So, you know, it is what it is, man. But anyway, yeah, needless to say, I'm still pretty pissed off about that about a year later or so, give or take. Because again, really it comes down to being the fact that, you know, if they wanted to sit there and bullshit or whatever the case be and just not have me on fucking panels with them anymore, whatever. I would have walked away and they could have just left it at that, dude. But then for that motherfucker Baron to go out there, not even contact me from my side of the fucking whole thing of it, dude. But to take some out of context clip, by the way, from that one stream to try to slander and defame me, that's where it becomes both criminal and lawsuitable. So, yeah, needless to say, I expect an apology from 4 different individuals right now. Guns and Barbecue, PNW Woods, Baron SVG, and G23. And if none of them do it, they're going to get sued come June 1st. And it's as simple as that, because I'm fucking sick and tired of it. I've had to put up with this shit for way too fucking long. I have had emotional distress because of this shit. And I'm fucking over it, man. I want vengeance. I want justice at this point. And it's going to come one way or another. It's going to come with an apology or it's going to come with a lawsuit. I don't care which it does at this point. It's up to them. But anyway, that's pretty much it, though. You know, like I said, we'll be back at some point in the future for another one. My connection is kind of dipping in and out right now. But yeah, we'll be back for another one at some point in the future here. I need to still do that one about the whole trans teacher person down there in Florida because, like I said earlier, they were fired finally from that job. And honestly, my thing is, how, like, you guys know I'm anti-red flag law, by the way. But my entire point is, how in a state that has red flag laws, being Florida there, are you going to have the cops look at that dude who is clearly a threat to themselves and others, just simply take away their firearms and not Baker Act their asses for at least a 72-hour cycle then? It's just insane to me to where that motherfucker could go back into the Florida school system, go back to their teaching position after they had already come out and been like talking about offing kids and then themselves in like a murder-suicide plot is what it was. It's just fucking insane. It's absolute insanity is what it is. So, yeah, I don't know, man. But needless to say, I'm going to drop a link to the back chat if anyone wants to come in and just bullshit for about 10, 15 minutes or so. I'll be on here for a little bit of time, and then I'm going to go probably take a nap for a little while because I'm getting kind of tired and it's getting kind of hot today. We're supposed to have this weird chill going on now in the next day or so, but right now it's just kind of hot. So anyway, Until later, I will be back probably tomorrow at some point. I'll be on mostly on Honda's chat later tonight for the Gay Frog thing, and we'll probably be talking about this if we do Rumble and stuff like that, exclusives or not. But other than that, that's where we're at for the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all on the next one.